Welcome back to Low Budget Entertainment. I'm Andrew, the Statesman, and today we're going to be talking about Kingsman 2, The Golden Circle. Is there a 2 in it, Hunter? That's just Kingsman The Golden Circle. Whatever. You know what it is. They need to put numbers at the end of movies from now on so you can tell which one's the sequel. You just have seek the title, underline words. You're not going to really tell. Anyway, I'm going to take off this stupid costume. Talk about the movie. So Kingsman 2. First one was directed by Matthew Vaughn. The second one was directed by Matthew Vaughn. Famous director of, I believe, Kick-Ass. I don't know about the second Kick-Ass. Also, X-Men First Class. He does a great job with this movie. This franchise is his brainchild, and he has raised this brainchild well. He is basically a director that knows how to direct kinetically. It is motion. It is over-exaggerated motion. He knows how to play it super goofy without taking it too seriously, without taking it too goofy. He makes characters that every character is likable, regardless of how much or how little screen time they have, and it's his signature pretty much. I definitely would like to see him do more in this world. I really hope he does. If he stays for a third, fourth, fifth, 19th movie, which that's kind of the vein of this movie. These movies, it's kind of making fun of that James Bond niche that there's so many that you can just keep going. I mean, I think it'd be funny if in the next movie, or maybe the fourth movie, they completely recast Eggsy and act like nothing happened. Hunter, what do you think? Would that be funny? He says no. Whatever. So speaking of actors, Taron Egerton as Eggsy, pretty much the heart and soul of the movie. I would say there's a lot of heart and soul in this movie, but he's our new James Bond. He has less of an interesting character in this movie, and that's one of my flaws with him in this movie. He's less interesting now than he was before, when he was up and coming, learning how to be a gentleman. But he holds the characters together and makes you feel like he's the character that brings us into this world, and that's why we love him. Mark Strong, I think, is the standout performance as Merlin. He was great in the first movie, he's great in this movie, but he's another heart and soul character. He brings so much to this movie that I wasn't expecting. He was kind of like a Yondu type character. I'm not going to say he dies at the end, like Yondu. Spoilers for Guardians of the Galaxy 2. But he's more of a character that had a role in the first movie. You're like, I like that guy a little bit. But then this one, you're like, oh, I really like this guy. Like I said, he's a great actor, too. And he's not in a huge role, but he does great with it. Colin Firth, he's back as Galahad Harry. Was that his name, Hunter? Harry? Yeah, Harry. He, once again, just like Taron Egerton, he's not as enjoyable or as interesting of a character this time. Hunter's doing something weird behind the camera. But he still is a lovable character. He feels like a father figure to you. But there's something that holds you back from just liking him as much in this movie. And I think that's because for the first half, if not more, he's not the same character. He's very different. And it's more heartbreaking for you because you don't get him as much, which I think is important because that's what the characters feel. Julianne Moore as the villain, Poppy. Very interesting role for her. She normally takes on dramatic or comedic roles, and this was somewhere in between. Not dramatic in the sense that she played a dramatic character, but she just had a very strange motivation, a strange aesthetic to her whole scheme. She's definitely terrifying. There's a scene towards the beginning where she's trying to force someone to eat a hamburger made of their friend. It was a good-looking hamburger, don't get me wrong, but I don't know. Hunter, would you eat a burger made of me? No, I wouldn't eat a burger made of you either. Maybe Bubba. Maybe. I can see that meat being really tender and juicy. Bubba, I hope you're watching this. But like I said, she could have been played by anybody, but Julianne Moore definitely did go with the role. Pedro Pascal. Pedro Pascal I know from Game of Thrones as Oberyn Martell. I believe he's a big character in Narcos, which I haven't watched. I watched the first episode, didn't care for it. That's just my opinion. He played Agent Whiskey, one of the statesmen. I think another standout role of this movie. He brought something different in the terms of statesman than we saw in the original Kingsman. And he definitely was an interesting character. He had a deep emotional conflict within him that we didn't get to see throughout most of the movie, but look out for it. Maybe you'll notice it when you watch it if you're watching it for the first time. Um, then we have, I'm looking at my list of cast people here, Hannah Alstrom. She was the Swedish princess from, I think she was Swedish, from the beginning, or from the end of the last movie. She is now dating Eggsy in a invested relationship, which I thought was really funny that the scene from the end of the first movie, you know the scene. Hunter loves that scene. It's funny that she's an important character in this one. She has an actual you have an emotional investment in her, especially because you have an emotional investment in Eggsy, and he has an emotional investment in her, if you catch my drift. Um, it's also about love, people. Don't be perverts. But she actually did really good. She had a bigger role to play, and she did it well. I haven't seen her in many American things aside from this, but I definitely would like to. She has an Amy Adams look about her, and I think she would do good, especially with what we've seen of her. Elton John. This is a big cast. I'm still going. Elton John. Funny. Overused at times. Still funny. Channing Tatum. I think he was used the right amount. Not the biggest Channing Tatum fan in the world. Not the smallest Channing Tatum fan in the world. He did pretty good. I don't want to see him become the main character in the third one. I hope we don't. But he did good with the smaller role than you'd think he had if you watched the marketing. And I think lastly we have Halle Berry. I'm not sure why Halle Berry was in this movie. She could have been played by anybody. That being said, she did good in her role, but it's a small role for such a big actress. Moving on to pros. This is a good sequel. It built upon the foundation of the first one. But the characters, the world and the characters that was built in the first one is injured in this because of a choice they make early on. It kind of wipes out everything you come to love about this world, which an interesting idea. I just whacked the microphone. It's an interesting idea. I hope it doesn't come to bite them in the ass in the third one. But the cast is great. The characters are funny. It's campy, but in the best possible way. It's in that Sam Raimi sort of way where it knows and it's happy to be that way. It's lighthearted. It's a movie that we need right now. Even though we've got a lot of lighthearted movies, it's good for where we are in terms of cinema. Some cons. It's not as good as the first movie. You don't have a lot of surprises. You kind of know what's happening. You know what's going to happen. You know what's going to happen if you watch the first movie. But there's less entertaining villains, and there's more layers of emotion through our characters, which is we focus on the protagonists less than the antagonists, which in the first one we had 50-50. But I would say it's a little too long. It's actually 2 hours and 20 minutes, but about an hour and 45 minutes in, I felt like it was wrapping up, and it just kind of kept going. But I never checked my watch, so that's not a concern. I'm going to say, overall, it's not as good as the first, but it's a worthy sequel, and I'm going to give it a B. So thanks for watching. What did you think? Comment below. Keep watching more low-budget entertainment. I almost forgot our name. Thanks for watching.